Hello, this is Efrossini Zoniou from Greece, presenting her evaluation task designed for EVO2022-LAL. I'll start by describing my teaching context and the learners the task target. Then I'll go through the task itself, showing the preparation process that leads to it, the student document, and the rating scales used for evaluation of writing skills. Lastly, I'll indicate how this task can be adapted for other learners and contexts. I teach young learners in a private language school in Greece, and this task is aimed at 11 to 13-year-olds at the beginning of the class that will bring them to B1 plus level. Most of my learners seek international language certification at B2 level, and this means that in my daily practice, I face the challenge of reconciling two conflicting demands: the need for authentic activities for learners with limited world experience on the one hand, and the requirements of exam training on the other. This conflict and the need to compromise can be seen in the task and the discussion too. My proposed activity is assigned for formative purposes and hopes to focus on learning-oriented assessment. It assesses the ability to write an article narrating and describing a personal experience, the best holiday, for an intended international teenage readership. Students are expected to produce around 120 words in 45 minutes in class. This time is necessary for my less confident learners, also given that a plan is required. The written production is evaluated with an analytic scale according to 4 equally weighted criteria, as we will see. Prior to the assignment, a similar task is presented in class. First, the rubric is analyzed in detail. Next, a good model is read and students are invited to notice important features. In the third step, practice is provided in the targeted language together with useful language boxes. Let's look at the task now. This is what the student document looks like. Taking a closer look, we can see that the situation that provides the target audience adds to the plausibility of the task. The announcement that gives the topic length and text type itself could be improved in authenticity. However, I had to sacrifice it for simplicity and clarity's sake. Next, bullet points regarding content to cover are provided for support. The plan is also required to isolate work on content from work on form, thus simplifying learners' task. Learners are encouraged to edit their work carefully with the aid of a checklist reminding them of all important aspects to check. Lastly, the evaluation criteria are visible to the learners to whom a simplified rating scale has been explained together with the descriptors. The emphasis here is on analytic feedback on each criterion, giving credit for successful features and actionable tips on areas for improvement. At my school, we also accompany our detailed feedback with a numeric or verbal mark to help learners see where they stand, how much progress they have achieved. Here is the raters marking scale with an explanation of each criterion, including task-specific points in red, and the descriptors of each band from 5 and 4 for above average performance, through 3 for satisfactory performance, and 2 and 1 for below average performance. And finally, could this task be adapted to fit other contexts and levels? The topic is one that's relevant to any age group and suitable for lower levels also, with appropriate scaffolding though. The narrative descriptive article is also useful for both lower and higher levels. At higher levels, it could regard experiences that are not so common, not personal, and require formal register. The detailed feedback table is beneficial for all contexts, but the criteria and descriptors in the scale should be modified according to the level and the task type, of course. Scaffolding may not be needed at higher levels, but more support may be required at lower levels on the other hand. The preparation at the pre-writing stage, with the process of writing broken down in progressive steps, is always relevant. The topic, text type will determine the focus of the practice. Thank you all for your attention.